What's up, guys? Coming to you today with the Imperial Assault Carrier. Yes, this is the Gozanti. It is here. We've got it. We're going to rip this thing open, take a look at it, and, see how it connects to these new TIE fighters and all that good stuff. Here we go. How am I ever going to carry all of this Imperial Assault stuff? I know. I'll balance it on my Imperial Assault Carrier. Alright, here we are. Just dumped everything out. We've got our two new blue painted TIE fighters. Let's get us to focus on them a little bit. There we go, our blue TIE fighter. Now this is just like your regular TIE fighter, just a little bit bluer. Alright, they're both the same. And then we've got our bases, we've got some maneuver dial things, all that normal stuff. We've got our cardboard. The only thing really to show in here is that we have the standard large ship maneuver tool, some scenario things, some energy tokens. We've got our dials for our new TIE fighter pilots. We've got the base for the Gozanti with that really wide frontal arc. I like seeing new types of arcs. I like it. And down here in the rule book, I want you to see the maneuver dial basically. So you got 3 energy for the 1, 3, 2, 1, 1, and then 2, 1 on the sides. So it gets energy. You know, I can go with the speed 4, but I mean, pretty standard. Most of the epic ships, I think they're all pretty much the same. There's very little variation there. TIE fighter is, pretty standard. I'm sure you know what a TIE fighter style looks like. But that's basically the dial. Our instruction booklet gives us all kinds of information, but one of the most interesting things here is docked ships and deploying ships. Basically, basically you can just deploy a ship after it moves. You can deploy up to 2, or if you have your Gozanti get exploded, then all your ships can then deploy, but they have to take a damage card on them. So that's new. I think that seems to be basically the standard rule for deploying going forth. Let's look at the model. This thing is pretty slick. At first I thought it was dirty, like a heavy wash, but this is actually paint. This is painted detail, almost like the digital camouflage. Yeah, that's pretty cool. There's a lot of paint detail without sculpted detail. I mean, in addition to sculpted detail, so it's kind of impressive. And this ship is actually unique too because this is at the 270 scale. So this isn't like the sliding scale that the other huge ships have. So this one should look most natural right next to TIE fighters and other ships. Got that dish there. All right, let's take a look at the back. Those are our engines. Let's look at the upside down side. Now here's where the docking clamps will go in. They kind of go in and twist. And then this is our pegs for mounting. And then we've got a little turret underneath there. Yep. Okay. Well, let's set it up. All right, it's on its stand right now, and that's just for scale. We've got some other, other ships right next to it. So you can see that it's big. It's about the size of the GR75. And now we're gonna try look at these little docking clamps here and sticking them in. All right, so basically we take this and we stick it in here, and we just turn it until it gets, sufficiently stuck. All right, and that's kind of how they go. And then you can stick your ship in there. Now, if you look in there, it's got the same type of connector that connects to a ship. You have to put them in upside down. All right, so that's fine and good. There we go. Okay, I don't think I have it turned all the way, but that's how it goes in, right? It goes in just fine. It goes in fine on a TIE fighter. It goes in fine on a TIE interceptor. It even goes in without too much difficulty on a TIE advanced. It does not go in on a TIE bomber though. See this thing? This the little poop chute here doesn't allow it to connect because the mouth is so big it can't connect. I could almost get it in. I tried doing one of these guys. I could almost get it in, but it just wasn't. It wasn't quite enough for him. I think it could be done with a little more effort. Haven't tried any of the bigger ships. Let's see how it looks with fully assembled. All right, so we got it on there. Turns out you can actually swivel them once they're plugged in all the way. You can swivel them a little bit, and you can have them facing outward if you wanted to. I've got all 4 in there. They go in real nicely. They seem to work best with TIE fighters. But what other things can we come? We got our interceptors on there just fine. And now we got a jumble here. I tried a first order TIE. I figured that one would work fine, no problem. The Phantoms work great. They go in there perfectly. But the Defender just doesn't quite fit because of those Y brackets in the back, and so I had to use a little. You can use any extension tool to fit them in there, but then it's going to bang into the bottom, so it doesn't actually work. Now, if you cut one, if you customized one and you cut one a little bit, you could probably even fit the bombers in there if you want to. If you have extra pegs and you want to cut them and glue it, but you might permanently glue something. All right, so now we got to put together. We're done with that. We're going to look at the cards. Here's the Gozanti class cruiser card, the basic one, 4 energy, 9 hull, 5 shields. After executing maneuver, you may deploy up to 2 docked ships. You can do only 1 if you want, and the great thing about this is it's after you do the maneuver. You're still going to get your action afterwards. So you can do a maneuver, drop 1 ship. That ship then gets to perform an action, provided it doesn't hit anything. You could then, in turn, do the action that lets another friendly ship take a free action. So basically, you can give somebody that you're deploying 2 free actions. So that would be really nice with bombers. I'm thinking something along the lines of loading up a bomber with a advanced proton torpedo and deploying him right when he's going to be at range 1 of somebody. Then he gets to focus, and then I get to go back to this guy, do his coordinate action, give that bomber a free target lock, and now that bomber is range 1 with an advanced proton torpedo and a focus. And there's all kinds of possibilities, and that's just one of the first things that came into my mind. Let me know what you come up with. Now we've got the TIE fighters that come with it. We've got Scourge or Scourge. When attacking a defender has 1 or more damage cards, roll 1 additional attack die. Very cool. Very cool. Next, we've got Youngster. Friendly TIE fighters at range 1 or 3 may perform the action in your equipped elite pilot talent upgrade card. So that's a really new mechanic. First thing like it. A lot of possibilities there. Push the limit's a great one, or any expose maybe. Or all kinds of stuff, but it has to be an action, so it can't be one of those passive ones like Veteran Instincts, for example, wouldn't work there. When attacking, you may cancel all dice results. If you cancel a critical result, deal 1 face-down damage card to the defender. So as long as he rolls a crit, he's at least doing 1 damage. Very cool, and it's a card, so that's bypassing shields. That's potentially devastating. Very cool. And then our last new pilot. I think this was the last one to be unspoiled, is Chaser. When another friendly ship at range 1 spends a focus token, assign a focus token to yourself. This is especially good with his low pilot skill because he's going to be shooting he's going to be one of the last ships to shoot. So if he has to spend, you put him out front so he can spend his focus for defense, and then after somebody else attacks and uses their focus, then he can get a free focus. And you don't have to actually have eyeball results showing to spend your focus. So if there's a pilot skill 4 who's about to shoot and then rolls all hits, well, he can say, all right, well, I'm spending my focus anyway, just to give Chaser the focus. Now we're going to look at the upgrade cards. All right, so we do get another damage deck for the Gozanti with both front and rear halves. Like all epic ships, this ship does have a front and rear half, and they get their own damage cards. And before I go on to the upgrades, also, we do have 2 Black Squadron pilots, 2 Obsidian Squadron pilots, and 2 Academy pilots that come with this as well. So you do have the generics and the dials and everything for the new ships. So, start out, we get another copy of Expert Handling. We've seen this before. And we're going to see a couple of stuff like that. Expose. We get another Expose here. So some of these are stuff that you could only get in 1 or 2 other places, so it's nice to see Expose somewhere else, although A lot of people hate this card. I'm always trying to find ways to make it really work, and I do like it. Marksmanship. Ion torpedoes. This is another place for those. That's good. Cluster missiles. You probably got a ton of those. Homing missile. You probably got several of those. Agent Callus is actually one of the coolest new cards in this expansion. He has a crew that costs 2, and at the start of the first round, or actually means start of the game, you get to choose one small or large ship. Now keep in mind, these are huge ships. A large ship would be like the Millennium Falcon, or the Outrider, or a Decimator. Basically, anytime you're attacking or defending against that ship, you can change one of your eyeball results to a hit or an evade. So that's basically a permanent single focus against another ship for the entire game. For your ship. So he works great as a crew on a large ship, or he's also great against other large ships. You do have to make the choice at the beginning of the game, but it's a very cool idea. He could also work really well on, say, a raider that has a lot of weapons, because it's every time you're attacking or defending against that ship. So if you're going to attack more than once, then you get to use him even more than once. Very cool, and it doesn't require an action, and it only costs 2 points. I guess it's like a risk, you might make the wrong decision. Now you have Construction Droid. We actually get 2 of these. It's huge ship only, but it's limited, so you can only have 1 on a ship. When you perform a recover action, you may spend an energy to discard 1 face-down damage card. So he basically gets rid of damage cards, but they have to be face-down, so he doesn't get rid of crits. You've got Rear Admiral Chirano. Huge ship only and Imperial only. And as an action, you can execute a +1 maneuver. So he's your boost. He is your boost, and he's basically to run people over. All right, Ordnance Experts. We get 2 of these, and it's limited as well. Now this is a team card, so obviously huge ship only, right? Once per round, when a friendly ship at range 1 through 3 performs an attack with a torpedo or a missile, it may change one of its blank results to a hit result. Now, this is pretty good. This is especially good if for people who aren't able to like double action. So it's good for your basic bombers that are just going to have a target lock, or it's good for your others. If you're running this on the Gozanti right next to a raider, this could be good because the raider can't focus anyway, so it gives you a chance to turn some blanks into hits. But it's only once per round, so that's the only problem with it. But for 5, I would like it if it was as many times as you want per round. That would be awesome. But it was also worth pointing out that this should work on yourself, too, because it doesn't say another friendly ship. It says a friendly ship, and you're always friendly to yourself, and you're always range 1 of yourself. So this will work on yourself as well. And we get the dual laser turret, one of these. This is a hard point, but this is also for the Gozanti only. It's an energy-based weapon, costs 1 energy. Spend 1 energy from this card to perform this attack against 1 ship, even outside of your firing arc. It's range 1 through 3, and it's a 3-dice attack. So it costs 5. It's a pretty decent little turret. And then you should be able to fire it every round. So it's a way to make the Gozanti. And you actually have a pretty large range because of the larger base. Okay. Broadcast Array. Gozanti only. This is a 2-point upgrade. Gozanti only, you gain the Jam action, which is like a stress-based action, and previously only the Rebel Transport had this one. So we get Cluster Bombs, we get 2 of these. After defending, you may discard this card. If you do, each other ship at range 1 of the defending section rolls 2 attack dice, suffering all damage and critical damage rolled. So this is really something nice that's going to make people think twice about attacking you, and you have the choice, and it's not limited either. So you could put 2 of these on a ship, in theory, and I think you could even, in theory, spend both of them if somebody attacks you. You spend both of these. And that's some of the advantage of a carrier. Your ships are protected, and you're also less likely to be attacked, but at least by a swarm. So we get docking clamps. Gozanti only, limited. We only get 1 of these, but you only need 1 because there's only 1 Gozanti in the expansion, and it's limited. You may dock up to 4 TIE Fighters, TIE Interceptors, TIE Bombers, or TIE Advance to this ship. All of these ships must have the same ship type. What remains to be seen is if you can dock TIE Fighters that are TIE FO fighters. I would think you can, because it does say TIE and Fighter. There's something else in there in the middle Now, TIE Advanced, I don't know if you can do TIE Advanced prototypes or not, but it's worth a discussion. But we do know at least the basic 4 ties you can put on there. Automated protocols. Once per round, after you perform an action that is not a recover or reinforce action, you may spend 1 energy to perform a free recover or reinforce action. So that's basically a way for you to take 2 actions as long as only one of them is either recover or reinforce. Great way to, if you're gonna, and this works well if you want to give somebody the coordinate action to let a docked ship leave and get a free action. This is a great way for you to also protect yourself, recovering or reinforcing. So you can do 1 defensive action and 1 offensive action, or team-related action. I really like this card. I'm probably going to run this. If I run a bomber setup to do that advanced proton torpedo thing, this would be a great way to do that. Optimized generators. Once per round, when you assign energy to an equipped upgrade card, gain 2 energy. So that's a great way. If this is probably better for some other ships that are going to be more energy dependent, but it's a great way for you to charge those weapons even faster without suffering as much. And it comes with 2 of them. Now here is the granddaddy of this expansion right here, the Ordnance 2. So we get 2 of these, which is great that we get 2 of them. Huge ship only, and it's a modification. You may treat each of your hardpoint upgrade icons as torpedo or missile icons. And when you're instructed to discard a torpedo or missile upgrade card, do not discard it. So basically you can put assault missiles, proton torpedoes, whatever, on one of these, on a huge ship, and fire them forever. Now you will need, probably to be able to target lock. These huge ships can't focus, so you couldn't do proton rockets. Of course you wouldn't want to anyway because they have no agility. But you won't be able to ever do anything that requires a focus to fire. But since almost all of them require a target lock to fire, that's going to work. It also seems to have really good synergy with the weapons engineer, who's going to let you get 2 target locks when you do a target lock action. So that's really cool. This might even work best on the CR90. So this opens up so many possibilities, and this is going to make huge ships a lot more viable. So I'm really excited about this card. Now we have some titles. We have 3 titles. We'll start with Requiem. It's 4 points. And it says, when you deploy a ship, treat its pilot skill as 8 until the end of the round. So this works great if you're dropping cheap little academy pilots. Once you drop them, now you can shoot them as pilot skill 8, so they get to potentially shoot first. Vector, this only costs 2 points. It gives you +1 max energy. After you execute a maneuver, you may deploy up to 4 docked ships instead of 2. So he's really nice to jump in there and just drop his whole load. So this wouldn't work with my whole bomber theory, right? But he's a great way to surprise and overwhelm. Suppressor, +2 energy on this guy, but he costs 6. Once per round, after you acquire a target lock on an enemy ship, you may remove a focus, evade, or blue target lock from that ship. So he's more offensive. This is more your weapon guy. You might put this on a Gozanti that doesn't even have any ships docked to it. Or, I mean, you could. There's really no penalty to docking ships, other than you have to pay for them. But very cool. A little bit more offensive, and a little bit more support-like. So you definitely have some options for your Gozanti, but I think the most popular way is going to be to run him as a carrier. So that is the Gozanti, folks. Let me know what you think. If I didn't cover anything that you want me to cover, or if there's any questions I did not answer in here, let me know, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much, and if you like this channel, you like this video, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, leave a comment, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching.